Please be open-minded when you listen to me. These are ideas. They are not criticisms. They are not condemnations. They are ideas. I have been observing the world since I can remember, which is around age 2. So, a lot has changed in my lifetime. And despite appearances, most of the changes are pretty horrific when you look at the overall result. So, when I was little, everyone's mom was at home. It was probably 3rd or 4th grade that the first friend had a mom who went to work, and she became a latchkey kid. And I couldn't comprehend how awful that must be. Now, granted, I was one of 10, so we almost never had an empty house. And we had cats, we had dogs, we had chickens, we had sheep. So there was never the barren aloneness of an empty house. So as I grew up and became an adult, the opioid epidemic hit. And I was like, well, obviously moms in the workforce is a bad idea. And I thought the correlation was obvious. Well, it seems like I might be the only one who got it. And there was a study done where rats were put in a cage, one rat in a cage, water and cocaine water, and they basically always became addicted to cocaine. And so everyone was like, oh no, cocaine, it's terrible. So later, someone who had thought a little more said, wait, rats are social, curious, and so he made rat communities so that they had playmates and put in mazes and games and toys. And so the rats were busy and interacting, and almost none of them chose the cocaine water. So Tony Robbins says, happy people don't do drugs. And we are living in a time that anxiety and depression and what's the other one? Anxiety, depression. I can't remember. They're basically what everyone has. Well, maybe it's because we abandoned homes, because part of what makes a home is life. And when you've been out in the world dealing with mean people and cranky people and cliques and bullying and all of those other things, and you don't have the nurture of a mom to return to, you're going to turn to drugs, alcohol. If it gets worse and worse and worse. And there are predators at the ready looking for lonely, hopeless people. If you look at the recent 5-hour podcast that Sean Ryan had with, I think it's Ryan Montgomery. What these predators are doing is absolutely horrific. You can't leave your kids alone, and you can't leave them with electronics. From the natural health, meaning health from nature end, when I was a kid, I went all over the place alone, walking, bicycling. Granted, I lived in the center of town, but I went to the library, I walked to school, I went to the town hall, I went to the grocery store, I went to all these places alone. I even rode my bike by myself 2 miles to our swimming pond, because every single house that I went by had a mom in it. And, you know, moms used to, they'd see movement and out the window, and they would look and make sure. Oh, maybe they didn't know I was Heidi, but they knew, oh, that's one of the Rolsma kids. So I was always under the watchful eye of somebody. And now with women in the workforce, we have whole streets that are abandoned all day, every day. Well, there's an invitation to crime. And the other thing is, everyone is screaming about how expensive homes are. Well, guess what? When I was a kid, nobody used the wife's income to qualify for a mortgage. It was the dude, and it was the dude alone who provided the home. So when you have double the income, you have doubled the prices of houses, because when houses are valued, it is strictly how much money the buyer is willing to pay. And so it started gradually where, you know, maybe moms got a job with mother's hours and they're eyeing the house that they can afford on just the man's income. And, you know, just for ease and, you know, for reality, back then a house was $50,000, if that. When I was a baby, my parents might have paid $16,000 for our house, and it was a 7-bedroom house. When you say, oh, but hey, this job that she has, we can up the mortgage payment by $100 a month. We can get that nicer house. So at first, it only put you into a slightly better home. But now that you are fully dependent on the man and the woman to provide the income for the mortgage, you've doubled the price of homes. Homes are based on what people are willing to pay. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, so then you have the horror of when kids get sick, they can't stay home with mom. You know, yeah, sometimes mom can take a sick day on behalf of her kid, But I usually see parents pushing their kid, they've got a fever, oh, give them some Tylenol. Warning sign, Tylenol is not a health food. Brings the fever down and, oh, you can go to your daycare or wherever else. And this is the other thing. When I was a kid, the only people that I knew of who had nannies was royalty. And we knew how messed up they were, and there were certain moguls, and yeah, their kids were like cocaine addicts and all that kind of thing, always in trouble for driving drunk, and so like the average person knew, yeah, my kids need me. I'm not going to go to work while they're kids. When they graduate high school, because, big surprise, high schoolers need their mom available just as much as newborn infants. They don't act like it, I know, and I can help you with that. But, so, we have created a society where the things that are truly valuable. Is Psych 101, when I took it 40 years ago, said that a baby needs to be with not revolving, a primary caregiver for the first year, or they will not develop healthy emotions. Look around. Anxiety, depression. So when a baby is born, they are already bonded to their mother. You'll see these charming videos where a newborn is crying and hears their mother's voice and immediately calm down. So, no, moms and dads aren't interchangeable. If you want the optimal psychological health for your child, the mom needs to be home at least for the first year. All right, that's enough for this one. I have a lot more to say, but just think about it. Don't get offended. I'm not judging. I'm trying to bring insight and facts. We have lost the meaning of life.